Hey everybody, it's Tori the Grubby Pirate and welcome to my home in Santa Ana, which is Mismis Oriental on the island of Mindanao in the beautiful Philippines. Well, today I've got a few minutes and we're going to take a bit of a break from the construction mode. Just go for a little walkabout around the village and talk about surviving in the Philippines, and not just surviving, but thriving. So let's take a few minutes and do that. I've got 3 topics to discuss with you and teach you how to survive in the Philippines, or at least advise you. I wouldn't say teach you, but advise you on how to survive in the Philippines and things I had to do exactly that, surviving. We're just gonna follow Franklin through the gate. How are you, Franklin?
Good.
Are you working hard?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite boss in the whole wide world?
Sir, sorry.
All right. See, no, I didn't have to pay him for that. Well, I do pay him, but I didn't have to. Why, hello there, everybody. How are you? Do you guys want to be on my video for a quick second? Say hello. Hello. See you later. So surviving in the Philippines. Well, the first thing you need to do is learn how to relax. And that's it. That's the topic, relaxing. Some people, believe me, you can't relax. Well, it's time that you learned how to relax, because life will be a lot easier for you over here if you do. Okay, you're not in Kansas anymore, so don't try and bring what you do there here. It's not going to work. We don't want it, they don't want it. And you know what? Why come here if you want it to be like where you're from? So you're not in Kansas anymore, so don't even bother bringing Kansas with you. Now you're on vacation or you're retiring, so go on vacation or retire. That's what it's all about. You deserve it. Now, this is also not a place to come if you think, well, you know what? I've got a little bit of money saved up. I'm bored of where I live. I'm going to go over there, and when I run out of money, I'm just going to find a job and just keep on keeping on. Well, good luck with that, because you know what? Number one, over here, nobody's going to hire you. Okay? You're not Filipino, and believe me, they will not hire you. Number one is because you're not a national. Number 2 is you probably don't have a work permit, and you won't be able to get a work permit unless you know you have a special talent and you're being hired by a Western company to fulfill a position that can't be filled by a local. And if that's the case, then you've got yourself probably a really good job, and not only will you survive, but you will thrive, because you'll be making Western money living in the Philippines. Now that's a dream. Now the next thing you need to really think about is what they call over here Filipino time. Hello everybody. Good afternoon to you. We're just on a little walkabout, seeing some of the neighbors and everything else. So, Filipino time, it's exactly that. When you're in the Philippines, and let's just say, for example, you've got a lunch date with a hot gal or a guy that you just met, and you've asked them to show up at 3 p.m. Well, you know what? To a Filipino, 3 basically p.m. means from 3 p.m. to 3:59. And if you're sitting there at 10 to 3 like I would be, being prompt and punctual and even a couple minutes early, well, you know what? You're going to be sitting there probably for at least those 59 minutes. Even my wife, if I ask her what time it is, if I asked her, she'd say it's 3 p.m. when it's actually probably 3:40 p.m. I have to ask her, if I want the exact time, I have to basically tell her to show me her phone so that I know exactly what time it is. So it's pretty hilarious. But they're relaxed, they're kicked back, and you should be getting used to that as quickly as you can. Another thing over here is lunchtime. When it's lunchtime, it's lunchtime. The entire country basically shuts down from 11:30 till 1, all right? And don't be surprised if you're shopping or whatever, and all of a sudden stores close or services stop. It's lunchtime. Also, holidays, national holidays. Nobody gets more holidays than the Philippines. And if you don't believe me, well, come live over here. You're gonna see how many times you expect to wake up and go pay some bills or do something, go to the store. Well, the first thing you'll notice is, well, there's no traffic on the road. Oh, it must be a holiday. There's so many national holidays over here. And get used to that. So they need it, they work hard. Now the last topic for survival over here, well, I wouldn't say the last one, but the last one I'm going to talk to you about today is the heat, okay? Even if you come from somewhere in the West where it's considered warm like I do, where I come from, it's considered hot. But to here, it's absolutely nothing. The only place that might come close to this, and I've talked to people from there, Florida, because of the humidity, comes somewhat close, but here it's an unreal heat, and you'll notice it the minute you get off the airplane. It's unbelievable, and it's intense. When I first came here, I sweat profusely. People used to look at me and just think, oh my God, there has to be something medically wrong with that guy. It was running down my body like a river. It's unreal. I'm not bad now, but it's still warm all the time. I sweat constantly. I have to change my clothes 2 or 3 times a day. But again, I'm not sweating profusely like I used to. So that's the basically three topics for survival in the Philippines. Now let's talk about thriving in the Philippines. It's not that difficult, okay? If people say it is, well, they made it difficult on themselves. It's almost like life in general. Life is really not that difficult. The only thing that makes it difficult is usually yourself. So try not to, okay? Now over here, to thrive, the best way to thrive is just to simply be polite. It's amazing how far it goes. And if you're not polite and you can't crack a smile or say hello to complete strangers 30 times, 40 times a day, then don't even bother coming here, all right? It's not that hard to be polite. I was raised by my teachers, by my parents, by everybody to be polite, and you should be too. People say hello here, so get used to it. Hello, puppy dog. Even the dogs say hello, even though he's growling at me. Hello. So get used to it and say hello. Everybody else is going to. Filipinos are probably the nicest people in the world. I've never traveled anywhere with nicer people. I've traveled, many places with very warm, wonderful people, but nothing like the Philippines. So they'll definitely give you the shirt off their backs. Now, thriving over here is language. You don't need to be fluent. The more you know, and actually, to be honest with you, I know some people that are fluent, some Westerners, and they say it actually gets them into trouble because they know too much and they hear stuff that they really shouldn't, and it gets them into arguments and combative. It's kind of funny to hear that, but knowing a little bit will definitely be a big help, and it will take you a long way, just in the sense that you'll garner a little bit of respect from people just by knowing basic words. When I first came here, I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna learn Tagalog and I'm gonna become fluent. I bought Rosetta Stone. I went hard for the first couple months and learned a lot. But when I got here, typical thing, it's an entirely different ball game. All you need are the basics. Now, there's a huge misconception that everybody here speaks English. Well, most people do, but it's basic English, okay? Very few people speak fluent English. Unless you're in Makati, they're well educated. They go to an English school or lived in the States or something like that, or Australia, or lived somewhere in the West. Then yeah, their English command is usually pretty good. Now, they may understand it over here, but again, it will be basic understanding, and you'll be able to survive quite easily, especially compared to places like Thailand or Vietnam, Cambodia, places like that where it's difficult. But here, at least, there's a basic understanding by almost everybody. So get it out of your head that everybody speaks English here. They don't. Now, the words you should know over here are just basically the simple ones. Hello, which is hello. Hello here is hello there. It doesn't matter. But you should at least try with the basics. And the basics are basically thank you, which is salamat. If you go into a store or you're walking down the street and somebody opens a door for you or something, or provides you with a service or anything, simply saying thank you, which is salamat, will instantly create a conversation. You'll have every single person ask you, oh, you speak Bisaya, oh, you speak Tagalog. And at that point, you have to say just a little, which is konti lang. But again, even if you know just those basic words, you'll be treated so much nicer than you normally would. Not that you're not treated nicely, but even more so just by knowing a few basic words. So you got salamat, kumasta, which means how are you? So somebody says, hello, how are you doing? Or you want to say, how are you doing to them? It's kumasta, and they'll answer you. And again, they'll be amazed that you even know that. Now, if you're talking to a guy or a girl and you want to address them, somewhat formally, not super formal, but with a little bit of respect, there's one simple word for each. For a guy, it's kuya. That means brother. And for a woman, it's ate, which means sister. Now, you don't want to use these salutations to somebody younger than you. This is somebody your own age and older. And again, it's just, friendly way and a little bit more formal way of saying, that you're giving them a little bit of respect. So if you're walking down the street and you see somebody, it says, good morning, kuya. Good morning, ate. and it's just a little bit more, and they'll be like, whoa, that dude knows some of my language. And then last but not least that I'm going to talk with you about is just a very formal word, and you want to use it under, with a great deal of esteem or formality or respect, is add in po. So, you would say, how are you today, po, which is, again, how are you? And that can be used for a woman or a guy. It's transgender or whatever you want to call that. But either way, po at the end is a very formal way, and they really like it. If you address them as po, they will be very happy that you treat them with that type of respect. So that's pretty much it, everybody, for surviving and thriving in the Philippines. It's not that difficult. If you've had difficult surviving in the Philippines, well, you're gonna have a problem surviving anywhere. I hope that helps. I hope it's been a fun and interesting little topic today. Got off the construction phase. We'll be back at that in the next couple of days, but it's a nice change. I want to thank everybody for taking the time, especially if you've made it this far. Really, really appreciate your time. I hope you've subscribed. And if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. Right now, I think I'm sitting at 62 subscribers after 5 videos. Applejane and I are trying to build the channel. We want to see how quickly it takes us to get to 1,000. Some people say they've done it in 3 or 4 days. I'm like, wow, we've been at it for 5 weeks and we're at 62. But since the last video, which I posted on Monday, today is Thursday, 3 days ago, we've received, 37 subscribers. So I think that's pretty damn good. So I want to thank you guys. Hope you'll subscribe. Hope you'll stay tuned in. Check out the videos that are coming. Again, I hope they're interesting. Let me know. I'm a rookie. I don't edit things. This is one take. And let me know what you think and how I can improve. If you have any topics you want to discuss, send an email or a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you. This gives me something to do in the Philippines, and I'm enjoying it, actually. It's kind of fun. So again, thank you so much. You guys take care. Keep on keeping on. And remember, life in the Philippines, all right, it really is more fun.